Hello traders, Day Trader Matt here of businesswithtrading.com, doing a trading strategy recap for Monday the 20th of July. And today was definitely an interesting day. Today we had 3 trades and pulled 1 point out of the market. So in hindsight, looking at the market, 1 point's pretty dismal, but it's better than losing a few points. So let's get into what we actually did today. Today, market did gap up a little bit and closed that very shortly and just chopped around for a little bit. Our first trade was a long right here, one contract, and we were able to ride that up, take profits right in here. And then, the market did roll over. Most likely we got out on this candle. I'm not looking at the actual, time numbers. But, this is where we got out. Market did roll over, we got out, and it came down. And as it started to come up, we watched things a little bit. We did have an order to get short right here. Market came up, it hit us. It actually came up and rejected a little bit, but then it just kept going and took us out. It is what it is. Sometimes that happens. And after that, we watched things for a little bit, and we ended up getting long right down here, and we ended up getting out after this started to roll over. We got taken out because we moved our stop up and basically called it a day. That gave us our 1 point, and it is what it is. We'll take that 1 point, and then we'll come back the rest of the week, see what happens. Trading is all about what can you do every month. That's the way I look at it, and that's the way I think it should be looked at. Judging your trading day by day, yeah, that is important, and you see me doing that with maximum profit potential. Where did my entries, where did they go, and did I get close or do better than that? That's the entire goal. And MPP is something that isn't calculated until after the trading day is over with, and it's good that is, because there's no competition between am I doing better, am I allowing my entries to go as far as they can, or at least as far as I believe that they can, until it rolls back over and hits my stop. So that's what I'm looking at. And that's what MPP is there for, is really for me to judge my own trading. When it's close, MPP today was 1.25. If you're not familiar with MPP, maximum profit potential, for example, right here we got long at 8 even, and we got out at 9 half, which is actually right here. So that was 1.5 points. Where did the market go? The market went to 21.20 from 21.18. So that's 2.25 points. But because in the majority of cases, 98-99% of the time, price has to trade through that order by a tick in order to fill it. So I take a 1/4 point off, and that's 2 points. Market went 2 points, we took out 1.5 points. That's basically what MPP is if you're not familiar with it. And it's basically a way for me to judge my own trading. It's a concept that kind of came to me. I used to play basketball a lot when I was younger, and it was a game I used to play. When I'm by myself practicing, if I missed a shot, the opponent got 2 points. If I made a shot, I got 1 point. And it really made me focus on my shooting. If I take a 3-point shot, it's still 2-1. If I take a field goal, still 2-1. And that's the way it went. I lost a lot. But you also learn how to lose gracefully. Yeah, I'm losing to a fictitious opponent, but it's still a loss. A loss is a loss is a loss. But that's where the concept came from. So anyway, hopefully that explained that a little bit. I'm always trying to improve my own trading, and I'm always improving the trading courses because of that, which is very good for me because I learned so much from doing that. So anyway, trading is a constant learning process, in my opinion. I don't think any endeavor you can master 100%, no matter what you do. Maybe like, yeah, brushing your teeth or putting your shoes on, but that's something you should be able to master. I'm talking about an endeavor like trading or playing guitar, or playing basketball, something like that. You'll never be the best ever. There's always going to be controversy. I grew up watching Michael Jordan. I think he was one of the best basketball players. But I wasn't alive in the 50s and the 20s and back in the 60s, when Magic Johnson played in the 80s. You know, I was born in the 80s, but I was too young to really know what basketball was. I didn't become a fan of basketball until I got older. You know, and because of that, I can't really compare them to that. But then you have the people who were alive then, and they're like, oh, this guy's better, that guy's better. Or some people say Michael Jordan was better. So in Michael Jordan's mind, he was never the best. He always worked to get to the best. And even when he was in the prime of his career, he still worked to become the best. When he retired, he owned the Washington Wizards, and they weren't doing that good. So what he decided to do was come back into basketball at like 42 years old or something like that. And he was phenomenal. And he taught those guys a lot. And that's the difference between the, perspectives. If you are allowing your profits to go all the way, or at least capturing like 60% of the move, I think that would be ideal, 60% of the move. Because are you going to be able to capture 80, 90% all the time? No, definitely not. Sometimes you're going to only get 30, 40%. It's going to happen. But on average, 60 to 80% of the move is a good number to get. And, you can see that I like 60 to 80% a lot. I like to be, successful in my trading 60 to 80% of the time. And I like to capture 60 to 80% of the moves. If I capture 90%, that's phenomenal. If I capture 80%, that's good. 60%, that's still good. So, hopefully you enjoy the video, you got something out of it. You can always leave comments below. I encourage any comment, especially any questions. With that, thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day. And I'll see you back here in the markets. Thank you.